In the year 1830, Jinta's father locks his sister, Suzune, in a secluded room. A while later, Jinta goes to check on her, but she's gone. Desperate, he runs around searching for her. When he finally finds her, he apologizes for not doing anything to save her. However, she doesn't want him to get into trouble, so she tells him to go home. That's when he makes up his mind. They're both leaving. They take shelter from the rain in an abandoned shrine, but they're both freezing. Using the last of his strength, Jinta sees a man arrive and promises to take care of them. When he wakes up, the man is carrying him on his back while his sister walks beside them. They arrive at a village where the man explains that it is home to blacksmiths. This man has a daughter. He tells her that these children, who have nowhere else to go, will be living with them from now on. The girl, Shirayuki, is thrilled. That night, the man, Haru, explains to Jinta that he's a sentinel, someone who protects important people and things. The next day, the children start getting along and playing together. On their way home, Jinta asks Shirayuki about her mother. She never leaves a particular shrine in the village because she serves as a priestess for the fire god. Only the village chieftain and her husband, her sentinel, are allowed to see her. She can't interact with ordinary people, as doing so might taint her holy powers. It has been years since Shirayuki last saw her. Now we jump forward to 1833. Jinta is training in swordplay under Haru. He feels like he isn't improving at all, but Haru assures him that he is. After Haru leaves, Shirayuki comforts him and tries to cheer him up. It's clear that Jinta is already developing feelings for her. Then we take another big leap in time. Jinta is now an adult and a demon slayer. He hunts creatures that feed on humans. He has also become the village's sentinel. Demons naturally have lifespans of over 1,000 years, but legend says that eating the fresh liver of a priestess can make them immortal. What's worse, the previous priestess was devoured by a demon, and they only managed to defeat the monster after Haru sacrificed his life. The current priestess believes the demons may also be after the sacred sword, which has been passed down through priestesses for generations. Then a man speaks up, saying there's no reason to worry since the priestess now has 2 sentinels protecting her. Apparently he's one of them. With that, the meeting comes to an end, and everyone leaves, except for Jinta. That's when we learn that the new priestess is Shirayuki. She tells Jinta that she wishes he would drop the formalities when they're alone, since, at this point, he's the only one who can. He complies. Now, something strange is happening here. Shirayuki and Jinta are both adults now, yet Suzune is still a child. She isn't supposed to be in the shrine. If she's caught, she could even be executed for it. So when they hear someone approaching, she quickly runs away. An old man arrives and brings up some kind of proposal, asking Jinta to leave them alone for a while. Jinta complies. Then we see a flashback of when Shirayuki told Jinta she was going to become the priestess. She loves the village her mother gave her life for, but unfortunately, that meant she would never be able to see Jinta again. Determined to change that, he decided to work his way up to her. He decided to become the village sentinel so that he could see her again. That decision made her so happy that she started to cry. Back in the present, demons are lurking in the village. More specifically, they're watching Suzune. They remark that she looks exactly like someone they saw before, whatever that means. Of course, Jinta is also keeping an eye on her. They still live together, and since he was told he isn't needed at the shrine until the afternoon, he's staying home with her. By the way, the bandage over Suzune's face is hiding an inhuman red eye. Jinta pats her head and tells her they've truly found happiness, but she replies that all she needs to be happy is him. Just then, Shirayuki shows up at his house in casual clothes. She tells him she slipped away from her duties and invites him to spend the day with her. Jinta hesitates, so she clarifies that she already got permission from the chieftain, just for today. Suzune suggests they all have breakfast together, just like in the old days. So they do. However, she starts complaining that Jinta should have made something fancier since the princess is visiting. He tells her not to make him smack her, but Shirayuki just laughs, saying she knows he's too much of a softie to ever lay a hand on his sister. Jinta insists that he can be a strict brother when necessary. But she keeps teasing him, saying it would never happen, not in a million years. Suzune agrees, even daring him to smack her if he can. Of course he doesn't. Both girls burst into laughter, having confirmed their theory. After breakfast, Suzune is thrilled that her brother gets to spend the whole day with the princess. She loves her brother, and his happiness is her happiness. But when they actually leave, she doesn't seem quite as cheerful. Meanwhile, seeing Jinta walking around with a pretty girl quickly becomes the town's latest gossip. No one realizes she's the princess since they haven't seen her in years. When they stop to eat at a small establishment, Jinta introduces Shirayuki as a friend. However, Shirayuki seems a little sad that people no longer recognize her, especially the girl serving them, whom they used to play with as children. This girl, however, does remember Jinta, and when she delivers their order, she flirts with him a little. Shirayuki and Jinta begin reflecting on her father's catchphrase, "Nothing is forever." He was always trying to teach Jinta important life lessons, and even now, it feels like he's guiding him to follow in his footsteps. She hopes they can both live up to her parents by keeping the village safe, just as they did. At the end of the day, she thanks Jinta for going along with her whims. She had a good time, but in truth, she wanted a chance for them to talk. She has news to share. She's going to marry the other sentinel. Yesterday, the chieftain lectured her. He told her that if demons were coming for her, she should bear a successor before she ends up like her mother. The other sentinel is the chieftain's son, meaning he will eventually take his father's place. Their marriage would be in everyone's best interest, and she's inclined to agree. But speaking as herself and not as the priestess, she wants Jinta to know that she loves him. She was ready to leave and start a life with him somewhere else, but she knew that was a choice he would never make, because he isn't in love with her. Jinta responds that he swore to protect the priestess, not Shirayuki. He trained all these years because she bravely took up the mantle of priestess, and he respected her for it. Running away with her would make all of his training meaningless, and it would be an insult to everything she stands for. He could never live with that. She couldn't either. She will continue to be the priestess so that her heart remains true and her love for him thrives until the very end. Because if following this path was a mistake, then the same would be true of her feelings for him. Before the night ends, we see Suzune sitting curled up in a corner of the house. She seems anxious, biting her nails and all.